Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and tell you what I think are the best weapons and troops to craft from there. Also going to take a look at this new weekly troop here, Earcat. Is that how you say it? Looks like they got a load of letters, just chucked them together and said that's what we'll call it. Earcat, that'll do. Or John, might call him John. I don't know. Anyway, I tried to make up a joke about a ghost, but I couldn't. It had plenty of spirit, but no body. Alright. Right, let's take a look at this troop here then. Earcat. John. Convert all blue gems to yellow, then conjure a Lightstorm. Uses yellow itself. Lightstorm is yellow. So converting blue to yellow is good. Does start battles with full mana, so that's really handy on Guild Wars days. Very good against teams using blue. Or teams that do something like start and convert blue to skulls, something like that. Something that can be really dangerous. You can actually convert the blue away to a different colour. If you use yellow in your team as the main colour, then that is very nice indeed, especially with that Lightstorm. And it summons a Lightstorm at the start of battle as well, so you get a nice amount of yellow straight away. Not bad, but with that full mana start, the potential for use in Guild Wars, both attack and defence, that gets a pretty solid 7 out of 10. Very nice indeed. So make sure you grab these, get them all the way to Mythic if you can. It's going to help your power levels in the long run. Let's grab that in the bag. Thank you very much. And whilst you're here, you can also grab some Spoils of War. Always worth grabbing these. Just costs a bit more glory if you've got it spare. And you get some more gold, more souls, more event keys, and joy of joy, even more treasure maps, which we absolutely love. Right, let's take a look at the weapons then. I'm not going to go over all the ones that are here all the time, like Eye of Zathanos, Shattered Blade, Broken Guard, etc. They're in my Soulforge extra video, and I'll put that link in the description below. First up here is Feather Strike. Does damage to an enemy boosted by yellow allies and Strix allies. This uses yellow itself, so that's one of them. So yeah, the more yellow allies and the more Strix you have in your team, the bigger the hit. Light Sword does magic based damage to the first enemy and deal triple damage if they use purple mana. So very effective against purple using enemies. They're here all the time. Nimbus Bow. Really cool weapon this. Does magic based damage to an enemy boosted by Strix allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and yellow gems for each Strix ally. A really common use for this weapon is to put this weapon with 3 finesse in your team, which does that thing where it gains 4 to all stats on a 4 match, and you just keep on casting that. Generally, you get mixes of blue or yellow all the time, charge up the finesses and just do it again until they can hit really hard. Really nice weapon, has some really cool upgrades as well. Enchanting means that it gets enchanted as soon as you cast it, so it gets ready to do it again really quickly. And Peaceful, that is going to normally silence the first enemy. Very good indeed. Nimbus Bow, pretty much essential, I would say. Plumed Staff does damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. So this uses green and purple, generates yellow and purple, so it can actually self-charge itself, which is cool, but you want to make sure you've got some yellow using troops on your team as well to make sure you benefit from that mana as much as possible. Javelin of Suncrest, kind of the anti-Suncrest weapon if you like. Removes all yellow gems. This is the colour that Suncrest teams like the most. Does magic based damage to an enemy boosted by the amount of gems removed, and if the enemy is from Suncrest or if the battle is in Suncrest, deal double damage. So certainly good in that situation. Blade of Morning to be followed up by the Blade of Afternoon, and followed up ultimately by the Blade of Evening. No. Remove all purple gems. Create yellow gems equal to the purple gems removed. Then give magic +1 life to an ally boosted by yellow gems now on the board. So that's actually a really cool weapon. Especially if you're up against an enemy that uses or likes to use purple, and you've got some other troops on your team that use yellow, then very effective indeed. Do like that. Staff of Storms. Explode magic +1 yellow gems. Grant a random status effect to all Strix allies, then summon a Strix troop. So a explodey summony weapon. Really nice. I do like these. Wand of Stars, Trick and Treat. These are all here all the time. Any more? Doomed Sigh. Not a huge fan of this one. Does damage to the last enemy boosted by yellow gems, so you can't target an enemy, it's always going to be the last one. If they have a doom, deal double damage, can be nice, and there's a 3% chance per tempering level to kill them. So when this is untempered, it's a extremely low chance to do anything apart from that initial damage, and it's a forced target as well, which still can be useful if they're stealthy in last place and things like that. But even fully tempered, there's still only a 30% chance to kill them. But yeah, not my favourite kind of weapon, them ones. What else have we got? Anything else? Nope, that is it. Troops, let's take a quick look. Nobody special in these summoning stone troops this one, but always take a look through, see if there's anybody that you're missing, particularly if you're a newer player, because there can be someone there that is, you know, very useful, very handy, like Gimlet, another empowered troop. They're always useful on Guild Wars and is Guild Wars week. So have a little look through all them, see if you're missing anybody. Roll the dice and see if you get lucky. Alright, let's take a look at the mythics first. Who have we got? Again, I'm not going over all the troops that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video as well. Right, who's up first? King Bloodwood. Does magic-based heavy splash damage to an enemy boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies and steal 10 life from all enemies. So for a mythic, I don't think that spell is actually that great. Heavy splash damage is okay and it is boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies, and it does work well with this trait. The last one, the third trait, entangle, inflict bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. And it does reduce damage from skulls by 33%, but the trouble is there's legendaries that do similar or even better than what he does, so I don't think it's actually that great a mythic, that one. Skadi. She wasn't great when she came out, and the fact that more and more enemies have got immune to mana burn and things like that since then has just made her even worse. Very poor mythic. Freeze and mana burn the first 2 enemies, knock them to last position, and summon Queen Mab. Yep, nothing fantastic about her at all, I'm afraid. She does create a nice storm at the start of every turn, which is blue, and gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, but it's just not enough to take her out of the mediocre mythic list. Who else we got? Stonehammer. Pretty good in certain situations. Stun and burn all enemies. Create a mix of 22 red and brown gems and gain magic based life. Does use brown himself, so can self-charge, but obviously creates red as well, so you need other troops in your team which use red to benefit from that. Does have fortitude, which is really nice, and very tanky in first place. Reduce damage from skulls by 80%. Very nice in certain situations, but again, far from essential. Famine. Drain mana from all enemies. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by mana drained at a ×2 ratio. So that can actually hit extremely hard, as well as having the benefit of actually draining all the mana from all the enemies, which is actually really cool. Imagine like the team has spent several turns, you know, getting mana for all the team, and they're all getting quite close to being able to cast, and then you cast Famine, taking all of that mana away, as well as doing a massive amount of damage. Can work really well in certain situations, because when you take mana away, think of it as basically you forced the enemy to basically waste all their turns collecting mana. Obviously the point of the game, apart from the skull hits, is your gem matching colours to charge up your team. By casting Famine at the right moment, you've basically caused the enemy to just waste all their turns getting their team charged up to the point of when you cast mana, and when you cast Famine rather. So really nice troop in certain situations. But yeah, it's far from essential, but not a great bunch of mythics this week. Yes, Skadi, Stonehammer, Famine, and King Bloodwood. Wow. None of these are essential. I'm just making it absolutely clear, but I do think Famine is probably the best one out of this little bunch. Alright, so let's just take a quick look at the legendaries then. Summer Imp. Is that right? Normally these things are seasonal. Normally it'd be Winter Imp. Well, I have just got up, so I'm still quite tired. But I can't think why Summer Imp would be here. Normally it should be Winter Imp. By the way, I'm really good at sleeping. I'm so good at it, I can do it with my eyes closed. Anyway, deals magic-based scatter damage and creates 7 red gems. And if an enemy dies, gain 8 magic. But the best thing about it is that Sunshine gain 8 magic on yellow gem matches. Really, really cool. And gains bonus yellow from yellow gem matches as well. So, very nice troop indeed. You can get that in a yellow loopy team and really build up that scatter damage and hit really hard. But still a bit confused why Summer Imp is here. It's not summer. Anyway, next one, Leviathan. Dispel all enemies and deal magic +1 damage to them boosted by blue gems and knock the first enemy to last position. So a very disruptive troop this, pretty decent. I do like that. Knock the first enemy to last place, and Dispel is actually underrated, I think. It removes positive effects such as barrier, enchant, enraged, as it says in the corner there. And that is really handy, and yeah, I do like Leviathan. And it submerges itself on 4 or 5 gem matches as well. Not bad at all. Wrath. Very cool legendary. You see this on attack and defense in teams. It's that good. Works in first place as well. Does reflect 25% of skull damage. Explode 2 random gems when it deals skull damage as well, which is nice. And transforms blue to brown and yellow to skulls, enrage all allies and burn all enemies. So yeah, very nice attacky troop that. Wrath. Toozy. Last one. Toozy the Floozy. She gives magic +1 life to all allies, then creates 9 yellow gems boosted by enchanted allies. So it doesn't use yellow herself, so make sure you're creating that yellow for somebody else in your team to take advantage of, because there is quite a lot of yellow, especially when you get your team enchanted. And she does have a 30% chance to enchant a random ally when an ally casts a spell, which really helps things. And reduce damage from spells by 25% is not bad either. So that is it. But who gets my Mythic of the Week, which I think I already revealed slightly earlier maybe. King Bloodwood, not that great. Skadi, absolutely terrible. Stonehammer, good, but only in certain situations. And yeah, Famine. Again, it's not an amazing mythic, it's just pretty good, far from essential, but it is the best out of a fairly bad bunch, as to be said. Does drain mana from all enemies, which is really good, and then can hit really, really hard at the same time. So, not essential, but the best one here. Unless you're desperate to craft another mythic, I would save your diamonds. But there it is, there's the Soulforge video for this week. I've got my journey team and other videos coming up today as well. Manic Monday. Really busy day, but if you enjoyed this, why not bash that like and subscribe button? It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.